MFS Securities. We are an education and information firm on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. And every morning I go through what happened overnight on the global financial market and try to forecast what we are likely to see on our market and the global market today and the next few weeks. As a matter of interest, we show you what is hot, what is not, what you should hold and what you should fold. And by the way, if you have any particular feedback you would like to give us, how to improve, so why don't you review our presentation, rate it, and then share it with other people if you like. Well, overnight you can see here the Dow had a good day, additional performance on the previous 2 days. As you can see, from 26,664, we're now well above the 27,000. So it looks like the market is marching in a very positive way in favor of Mr. Trump. The S&P 500, the broader index, up 0.6%, and the Nasdaq, again, that's all-time high, 10,998, up 0.5%. In Europe, the Stoxx 50 index, which comprises most major European markets, was up 0.4%, also adding on the previous 2 days' gains. And the FTSE, the same situation, up 1.1%, 6,100. And the Nikkei in Japan, slightly down overnight, but then look, it had 2 beautiful days previously. And in China, the Shanghai index was almost flat, 4,777. Not a great deal of changes over the last 3 days. Our market yesterday, after we've seen a good rise of 111 points early in the week, well, yesterday we've seen a drop of 36 points, that is 0.6%, but the good thing is we remain above the 6,000 level. And the futures this morning is showing that the most likely outcome, the market will open higher by 27 points, about 0.5% higher. Gold continues to go higher, 2,053. Of course, this is actually the close yesterday morning, and you can see the $4.20 is in comparison to this morning to previous nights. But when you look at the changes here, it's nearly $19 higher, about $19 higher. Silver also continues to be much higher at $27. And Brent oil going up, $45. I don't think I've seen the $45 for a number of weeks. And West Texas crude oil, $42.22. Again, highest in 3 days. Soybeans continues to go down, $8.78. It was nearly $900 early in the week. Now the Australian dollar continues to be strong, 71.9, and will give you 60.6 euro cents and 55.8 British pence. And as a matter of interest, iron ore was up by nearly 1% to 118 US per bushel per ton, and that's actually the highest level for quite some time. And Bitcoin was also higher by nearly 275 US, and that translates to about $400 extra from this time yesterday. So we're actually gaining on gold, silver, and Bitcoin, and that's what we actually advertise people who follow us for a number of days and weeks. Okay, now in terms of the mechanical system that we have designed, we have here the weekly. These only change at the end of the week, and these figures change every day. So we have different strategy for different people. You have the investor, the person who trades and holds on to what you've got for a number of months or many weeks. And then you've got the conservative trader who trades within weeks, and you've got the very aggressive trader who trades within days. So we have different strategies, and what we do, I'll show you in a minute, we look at the chart and we look at 5 out of 8 indicators on the monthly and the weekly for the investor, and for the trader we look at 5 indicators out of 8, either telling you bull, bear or neutral, and these 5 indicators on the weekly have to be confirmed by another 5 out of 8 indicators on the daily. So once we have confirmation between 2 time frames, we have signals here: bull, neutral, or bear. So at the moment, this morning, the American market obviously is very strong. Gold, silver, very strong. Crude oil, by the way, started to gain. We had 2 days of bear. That's how we started the week on Saturday morning. We've done this, and we started the week bear, and then overnight the price of oil shot up. And that's, by the way, the inventories. The oil inventories have been much lower than expected. Again, the Australian dollar very strong, the American dollar very weak, the euro against the US dollar very strong, and the British pound strong against the American dollar. So that's where we are, and if you have an interest in any of those commodities, all you have to do is talk to us. Now I'm going to show you how we get all these signals. We look at the chart. This is the weekly for the Dow, and that's the daily. We look at various indicators. There are 8, and we need to have 5 bullish, or 5 bearish, or 5 neutral. So here we've got the stochastic, one of the 8 indicators, and we have 1 already bullish. The blue line is above the red, happens to be inside the overbought area. That's positive. The parabolic stop and reverse, these dots, red dots, happen to be below the candles. Green candles mean it's an up week. Red candle means a down week. And the parabolic stop and reverse below the candles, that is bullish. When they are above the candles, that's bearish. As you can see here, bearish, and then move bullish. And then you've got the 9 week, that's the orange dotted line above the black dotted line, which represents the 21 week moving average. That's bullish. And then of course we have other indicators, and as long as you have 5 indicators telling you bull, bear, or neutral, we need to go actually get confirmation from the daily. So on the daily, you've got parabolic stop and reverse started to turn bullish for the first time. We had a number of days where they were above, and then it turned bullish here. So that's the first signal. Stochastic is bullish. The 9-day above the 21, that's bullish, and so on. By the way, we have shown you here that oil turned bullish after neutral, and again that's because the indicators have changed. And the Dow has turned bullish after being bullish, bear, and neutral, because as I showed you, we've got a lot of changes in the indicators. You may end up having 4, or that turns to be neutral. As soon as you have 1 extra on the bull side, you have 5 out of 8 as a minimum. Of course, 8 out of 8 is very, very, very strong. 5 out of 8 is the minimum, confirming what you have in the monthly. So look at the ASX, that's our market gauge. That's the 200 index. And I told you many times, I've made this presentation. We've actually, from the high, the recent high to the recent low, we had 50% retracement. That's line here. Very quickly we moved up a number of weeks, and then we hung around this area here between the 50% retracement and the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. So that's an interesting thing. By the way, it got to 38.2 retracement, hanging there for a number of weeks, then shot up. Within 2 weeks we were above that line. So looking at the indicators, parabolic stop and reverse, bullish. The stochastic, slightly bullish. We have the 9 week above the 21 week, that's bullish. The candles happen to be above the 21, that's bullish. And we have of course other indicators. And on the daily side, if you have 5 bullish here, well, it looks like we don't have 5 on the daily. You can see the parabolic stop and reverse above the candles, that is actually bearish. And then you've got The non-day, I can see here 5,994 above the 21, which is 5,959. Look, I'm reading here those figures here. So obviously we've got a bullish signal here. But remember, we can actually show you the various indicators that we look at. So this is the daily. I'm going to expand it. And then you've got various indicators here. The RSI seems to be neutral. MACD bearish, or actually it's bullish because it's above that line. Now it's actually the blue line is below the red line, that's bearish, and we're heading towards the zero line, that's bearish. The stochastic, I've told you the stochastic, and the DMI is bullish. Parabolic stop and reverse bearish. So we have conflicting indicators. So that's how we actually come up with the various recommendations, and we look at the charts, and we need to have 5 out of 8 from 2 time frames. Okay, now we move forward. So these are the sectors. You can see this morning the sectors are the energy bearish, but I think that will change today because oil has gone up, and I think that will change the energy. So again, for a number of days we were actually bearish, and gold of course bullish, and industrial bearish, material bullish, telecommunication bullish. And then in terms of that's the weekly, at the beginning of the week, that's what we said, bearish on the XJO, bearish on Suncorp Transurban, bullish on Wesfarmers, and bearish on Woodside Petroleum. And this presentation will be on the website within the next hour. Okay, in terms of daily recommendations, we've gone neutral. We started bearish at the beginning of the week, and very quickly we turned neutral, and we're still neutral. Remember, yesterday we dropped 36 points after rising 111 points the day before. Okay, BHP this morning is bullish. Iron ore price has gone up, so we continue to be bullish. CIMIC, the outlet and holdings, bearish. Suncorp bearish. We've been bearish for Suncorp for a number of days, and look what happened here. We were up 4.2%, but then yesterday we dropped 3.7%, and depends what happened previously. When you put all of this together, we end up with indicators. Remember, when we look at moving averages, and we look at 9 weeks and 21 weeks, so we're not just looking at 2 days, we're looking at number of days, we put them all together. Okay, Woolworths bullish. After going up 2.2%, we dropped 1.7%. Again, all the signals at this stage are bullish, and Woodside Petroleum bearish. Okay, we like to look at volume. When the market goes up, here we've got the advances, here we've got the declines. So yesterday, 32% of all the stocks that were traded were actually advanced. However, 29% declined. And what we see here is that the volume was slightly up. And look at the last 5 days combined, we find that the advances exceed the declines. However, the previous 5 days, and the previous 5 days, you can see, up, down, volatility happens to be in the air. Yesterday, Mesoblast showed to be 4.4% rise, and it's painted yellow because previously, the day before, Mesoblast again was actually bullish, if I can find it. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, I know it's highlighted in yellow because it's up 2 days in a row. Commonwealth Bank up after pay touch 0.3%. and so on, and we compare that with the day before. Okay, announcements today. Well, this morning before we opened, very early in the morning, we found that inventories exceeded what we expected. They expected 3.4 million barrel to be in inventories, a decline, but in actual fact the decline was even greater. And also good news with the manufacturing PMI. They expected 55 and ended up 58. That's good news. Tonight we have the unemployment claims. They expect 1.4 million. Let's see what happens tonight. And yesterday, what we have here, that's the daily. What we do, we scan the market and we see which stock had excessive volume. That's the first thing that we look for. So for instance here, Newcrest Mines, if you look at 50-day moving average volume, so we look at volume for 50 days, we work out the average, moving average, and it is 3.7 million. Well, yesterday we had 5.2 million transactions and the price went up by nearly 3%. So a lot of people are buying Newcrest Mines. National Bank, on the other hand, was down 1.4% and the volume was almost steady, just 2% higher. For the aggressive trader, Integrated Research, 2 days in a row, the price went up by 2.3% and the volume was 150% higher. Just to explain, the average daily volume is 318,000 transactions. Yesterday we've seen nearly 800,000. The price went up, so we need to ask why. Nick Scali continues to appear day after day. Price goes up and the volume goes up. And these are actually for the traders who want to trade short in the marketplace. Okay, and the day before we have here Sonic Healthcare and Coles. So that's the day before. And as I mentioned that Nick Scali the day before last was 2.8% higher with 18% above the average volume. And 2 days ago, again, Integrated Research appeared with 2.2% higher. And Suncorp was down. ANZ Bank was down. Okay, finally, we look at our current position on CFDs. We have Western Areas and Open Pay, and this is not making some money at the moment. We are doing some losses. Okay, and finally, I'll go and tell you the disclaimer. Everything we present here today was actually for general advice only. And before you take any action, please consult with us or with your professional advisor. We don't know your financial circumstances and we don't know how what is your risk appetite. So please be cautious because there is no guarantee in trading in the market. If you have any questions, all you have to do is ask. These are my details: george@fssecurities.com.au and my website www.fs stand for full service, fssecurities.com. You can actually text me or send me a text. 61 is the country code if you ring from overseas or you send a text from overseas. However, if you call me from Australia, anywhere in Australia, my mobile number is 0411 259526. Happy trading and I hope you make some money.